Hey YouTube, Tweak here, bringing you all an update to my Phantom Knights Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for November 2022. I always like to update the Phantom Knight deck with each ban list. It seemed to be a trend. We would get something for the Phantom Knight deck off of the ban list and I would do an update. But it's been well over a year since my last update for the Phantom Knight deck, and there's really not much else that has to come off the deck for the ban list. So I figured an update is due just because it's been over a year now. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the Phantom Knight lineup, I am running 3 copies of Phantom Knights of Torn Scale. You can discard 1 card to send 1 Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard, except for Torn Scales. And if another Phantom Knight card is in your graveyard is banished while it's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Phantom Knights of Torn Scales once per turn. This is definitely one of your go-to main Phantom Knights in the deck, just because it has so much setup. Being able to set up your other Phantom Knight cards in your graveyard, and then also being able to special summon it back onto the field. And you don't have to worry about the banish, because most of the time you can just use it for an Xyz summon, and then it'll just get detached as an Xyz material and go back into the graveyard. I also run 3 copies of Phantom Knights of Silent Boots. If you control a Phantom Knights monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Silent Boots once per turn this way, and you can banish it from your graveyard to add 1 Phantom Knight spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And you can only use this effect of Silent Boots once per turn. So with this, you have a special summon to easily go for your Xyz plays if you just have 1 other Phantom Knight monster on the field. And being able to search out some of your very important traps that you run in the deck always makes up, because we have a card that can basically just stop your opponent's monsters, or even go for 1 of our rank up spells, being able to add to our hand and then go into our bigger Xyz monsters because of it. I also run 2 Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak. This card in attack position, you can target a dark monster on the field, change it to defense, and then if you do, that monster gains 800 attack and defense to the end of your opponent's turn. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to add 1 the Phantom Knights card from your deck to your hand. So it has to have the Phantom Knights, which are all the monsters. The spells say Phantom Knights, unless it's the rank up spell, the Phantom Knights rank up magic launch, or even our 1 trap that we run in the deck, which is Shade Brigandine, saying the Phantom Knights for that specific search. And also just having the attack boost is an added bonus, but most of the time you're just setting up Ancient Cloak to be a monster searcher in the graveyard. I also run 1 Ragged Gloves for the more send and setup of your graveyard, and the 1 Stained Greaves. If a Phantom Knight monster is special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can increase the level of this card by 1. You can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 Phantom Knights monster from your hand, except for Stained Greaves. So you have more setup with one of these. It's just a one-of for both, though. It's more of a specific situation card for both, and they can both be easily set up in the graveyard with cards like Torn Scales, or even just searched and add to your hand with cards like Ancient Cloak. For more of the monster presence on the field, I also run 3 Kagemusha Knight with this card. When you normal summon a level 3 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and this card cannot be used as synchro material. So it's just an easy special summon. Once again, the rank 3 play, or even just any of our setup for our link monsters can easily be done thanks to Kagemusha Knight, since it's just limited to not being able to be used for a synchro summon. And I also run 1 Psychic Wielder and 1 Psychic Tracker for more special summoning with our level 3 monsters. Having these 2 also make them a target for Emergency Teleport to just get another level 3 monster on the field for you to use. And for more graveyard setup and special summoning, I run 1 Danger Jackalope and 1 Danger Tsuchinoko. More draw power and special summoning off of these cards, and even if you do get the special summon for the other one, you have that monster to rely on to go into. And then for the last monsters for the actual level 3 setup in the deck, I run 3 Tour Guide from the Underworld. For special summoning are 2 targets, which are Seer and Graph, which both work very, very well in the Phantom Knights deck, because we can go into Cherubini and set up more level 3 monsters in the graveyard, and also protect our other Phantom Knights on the field, and set up more of our bigger plays thanks to Cherubini altogether. For the last of the monsters in the main deck, I just run 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring for the hand trap of choice, for the fact that Ash Blossom is also a level 3 monster. So in the worst scenario, you could use it for an Xyz play if need be, but most of the time it's just in the deck to shut down my opponent's searches or graveyard setup. Moving on now to the spells. For the rank up spells, I run 1 Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Force, and 1 Rank Up Magic Launch. The Rank Up Magic Force gives us more of a power option depending on the rank we want to go into by banishing other ones from our graveyard. And we can just go up 1 rank with our Rank Up Magic Launch, meaning we can use a rank 3 monster to go into cards like Evil Swarm Ophion, which can help to shut down a good number of different cards, or even just go right from Breaksword to our Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon using our Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Force, as long as we have the cards to banish for it. And I also run 1 Reinforcements of the Army, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 Call by the Grave. The Reinforcements of the Army can search out any of the Phantom Knight monsters. Foolish Burial to set up any of them that we'll want to banish in our graveyard, and Call by the Grave just to stop our opponent's own monsters in their graveyard from activating, or just, getting rid of a pesky target our opponent may have. And then for the rest of the spells, I just run 2 Emergency Teleport just to special summon either the Psychic Wielder or the other option, Psychic Tracker, onto the field from the deck. Not being a once per turn, if we open up both of our Emergency Teleports, we can have both special summons. And that is it for the spells. Lower spell count, the monster count, and the trap count, I would say, are the most important cards of the deck. For the traps, I run 3 Phantom Knights Fogblade. You activate by targeting 1 effect monster on the field. Negate that face-up monster's effect. That face-up monster cannot attack. Also, your monsters cannot target that face-up monster for attacks. But most of the time, what's great about it is you can just stop your opponent. And this is just another easy card to set up on the field with either cards like Silent Boots or using your Link monster, Rusty Bardish, to set it on the field for you. I also run the 1 Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine. This card's great for the set and special summon. If you search it and have no traps, you can just activate it that following turn. If you raise the level of your Greaves, you can have another level 4 monster to overlay into with your Shade Brigandine. And I also run the 1 Phantom Knights of Mistclaws. You target 1 of your banished Phantom Knight monsters, add to your hand. When an opponent declares a direct attack while this card's in your graveyard, you can target 1 level 4 lower Phantom Knight monster in your graveyard. Special summon that monster. If you do special summon this card as a normal summon monster at the same level as that monster onto the field. So giving you more of a monster option, but also being able to recycle our banished cards back onto the field. And it also has a The Phantom Knight, so another search off of Ancient Cloak. With the last of the traps just being 3 Infinite Impermanence for more stopping our opponent's monsters on their turn if we do end up going second. Moving on now to the extra deck, I run 2 Phantom Knights of Breaksword. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card and target 1 card you control and 1 your opponent controls, destroy them. If this Xyz Summon card is destroyed, you can target 2 Phantom Knight monsters with the same level in your graveyard, special summon them, increase their levels by 1. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for dark monsters. This can help to set up our rank 4 plays as well. I can show the pretty basic combo at the end of the video as well for this, but I also run 1 Dante Traveler of the Burning Abyss to use with our Seer and Graph to overlay and have consistency for search power, and also just setting up more cards for milling from our deck to the graveyard. And I also run 1 Leviair the Sea Dragon for another rank 3 to get back our banished cards, and 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon for the rank 4 plays, Ophion for the rank up magic with our rank 3, Dark Requiem for ranking up our Dark Rebellion, and also the 1 number F-Zero Utopic Future, and the 1 Draco Future for the many different rank 3 monsters that we can overlay together to go into these 2 cards and just stop our opponent's monster effects. And then for the Link monsters, our main go-to Phantom Knight monster is Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish. Needing 2 or more dark monsters, during the main phase, you can send 1 Phantom Knight monster from your deck to the graveyard to set 1 Phantom Knight spell or trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap card zone. And also, with this card, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it when a monster is special summoned to an arrow it points to. Giving you destruction and setup makes it a great Link monster. You can't use it for other Link monsters, but once you have this card set up on the field, you really don't have to. I also run the 1 Cherubini for the tour guide plays I spoke of before, 1 Cross Sheep for using with the Xyz plays, 1 Nightmare Unicorn along with 1 Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, and 1 Apollosa for more of the Link 4 boss monsters to go into. Having Soldier of Chaos recently reprinted in the Magnificent Mavens pack also makes it an excellent target to use, and Apollosa just for more monster effect negation. As for some of the go-to plays that you can use in the deck, if you have just the 2 Phantom Knight monsters, the first 2, Ancient Cloak and Silent Boots, you can summon out your Ancient Cloak, special summoning out your Silent Boots since you control a Phantom Knight monster, overlaying the 2, and this play works when you go second and your opponent has a card to destroy. Summoning out your Breaksword, you detach 1, targeting the Breaksword and your opponent's card, destroying both of them, and then the Breaksword effect will activate, special summoning both your Phantom Knight monsters back onto the field, being able to then overlay the 2 of them since they are now level 4 monsters into your Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. If you have the option for the spell to use for your rank up magic, you can use the rank up magic launch to then summon out your Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon. If you have your Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon and you wanted to put that in the deck as well, you could always just take out the Ophion or even one of the Link monsters, maybe the Cross Sheep, for the Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Having more of the setup with cards like your Torn Scales. With this card, you can discard one card to send one Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard, except for Phantom Knights of Torn Scales. So with this, you can even have the discard cost for your other card to the graveyard to send a Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard, which, don't forget, the traps have the special summon option as well, being able to banish them to special summon back whatever was from the graveyard using this card. And then even if you didn't use the Silent Boots play, you can have that special summon be then used here. And with that, you either have your rank up play to go into, with these cards being able to go into the same Xyz play that we spoke of before, or even go for more of a Dante setup. It all comes down to just what play you want to do at the time to use against your opponents. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, I've always loved Phantom Knights. Didn't get around to updating them recently, since they, like I said, have nothing really on the ban list anymore. But it's been over a year, and I felt an update was definitely due. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.